Working on this Volkswagen Beetle here, trying to get this wheel cylinder out for the brakes. The air pressure release valve is broken out, so I bought a few more and I've got them ready to install, but I need to take it out first so I can pull it out. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to pull it out. So you can see it already broke, and it should look, oh shoot, that one's gone too, but the brake actually works on it. I'm just really trying to get this brake to work because that's the only brake that's stopping the entire vehicle. One of the things I wanted to show you was, you can see there's brake fluid coming out right there. The issue that I'm having was this bolt here was stuck in place. It's been there for who knows how long, obviously exposed to the weather and everything. So I have my 17 millimeter on the external bolt, and I did have the 11 millimeter wrench on that inside bolt, but it was just stripping it. I could not get enough pressure on it without stripping the head. So once I feel that I'm going to strip it, I just stop. And then I have these vice grips here that are really good, and this is just a tiny vice grip. So luckily on the second try, because I didn't clamp it on too tight, I clamped it on tight enough. But you can see that it's not a regular vice grip. It's got that little V notch in there, and I have a really good, these like 10 millimeter and smaller bolts, pretty good. And I was able to get a decent amount of pressure on it. So this is the 4LW. Apparently that's what it is, 4LW. And it's an Irwin vice grip. I didn't realize Irwin and vice grip were one company. I don't know if one bought out the other or not, but that's what it is. Oh, it's called a 50Y. I don't know why it says 50Y. I don't know if this is a 50-year anniversary piece or not. Probably about $7 to $15 for this tool, and it lives in there with all my quarter-inch socket stuff. Nice Milwaukee bag. You can get at Home Depot. It's like an 11-inch bag or something like that, and it fits basically all my small wrenches. Got a little quarter-inch extension, all different deep and shallow sockets for metric and standard. Then I always have one of these also crescent wrench. Oh, this is a crescent wrench, and this crescent wrench comes in handy all the time. I don't know why this is in there. That should not be in there, but as I'm moving in, stuff gets thrown in here. I do happen to keep all my little straws for the carburetor fluid, because those things are always handy. But now that this is free, it's not free enough to turn by hand, but I can use this 11 millimeter, put my knee here to apply backwards pressure on it. Apparently not enough. And a crescent, all wrenches have a direction. So if I'm putting upward pressure, this is the correct way. If I happen to be putting downward pressure, this is the correct way. So I don't know if you can see the difference between the heads, but this is the correct way to put downward pressure on it and break something free, in this case clockwise. But if I'm trying to loosen something, you want it in this direction, and it's less likely to break. I guess if you look at it, the pressure technically is like right here, but if I'm trying to go upwards with it, the pressure would be like right here, and it'll strip, like this jaw will open. So it's less likely to open if you do it like that. It'd be great if I had my other vice grip here, but you can see this is already broken free, and it's just coming out now. So let's go ahead and loosen this. Hopefully I don't have all the fluid come out, and maybe I should go ahead and let me stop this because it's already too much. Let me go ahead and collect this. I don't make a mess here on the ground. So let me go ahead and go grab something out of the bucket readily available. Here we go. So this is it, and of course we'll just take it down. AutoZone O'Reilly's will take your used oil. Boom. All right, couple beans. Let's continue. Where is that 11 millimeter? Right here. Right here. Oops. So that darn thing's still moving. Let's see if I can just put some pressure on there with my knee. Yep, and that's enough to keep it from turning. I mean, brake fluid is a good cutting agent. Whoever installed these brakes didn't put the clip. There's a little clip that's supposed to sit right there, and it pulls it out this way so that that cable's not bouncing around all over the place, but obviously nobody put it on there. Next time I go to the junkyard, I'll see if I can pull some out of some vehicles so I can get 2 or 3 of them. so now it's loose. I can pull this out. Boom. There we go. Now I can see it's loose now. I don't even need the wrench on it. I can just spin it by hand. I'm just spinning it by hand here and pulling it out. So maybe that this hose is clogged. I don't really know. Hopefully we'll see some fluid come out. Well, that's not moving, that's for sure. You can see that it's glossy in there. So I'll spray some carb cleaner in here. Yeah, it's definitely not moving. So we'll spray some carb cleaner in here and clean this out. And if we have to, I might have to go buy a new hose. Those hoses are about $12 a piece, so it's not that big of an investment to do that. This is gonna be like a 12 or a 13. Yeah, it's an 11, it's the wrong size. But let's just try the 13. Usually like, well, American vehicles will use 1/2 inch. Yeah, you see foreign vehicles use 13s. And it should be counterclockwise to loosen. So let me show you counterclockwise. Oh man, did you see that it actually, darn it, hopefully you saw that it actually jumped and skipped it. In other words, it ended up stripping the head a little bit. So let's get that back on there. Put the 13, which will make more contact. And it doesn't make contact on the edges of the bolt. It's hard to see, but basically there's an arch in the middle of every point. So there's just happens to be a little arch there, and that arch grabs the nut. So it doesn't grab it on the edge. It doesn't grab it on the edge there. That arch pushes up in the center of this. And once it's overloaded, it's actually grabbing like right here. So when it, with all 6 sides attached, it just really grabs that thing pretty good. I do have the 13 here, so let's see if this will break it free. Oh, I broke the darn toggle switch, so let's try. Oh, we got it. Good. So it's loose now, and that thing should come out. So the springs are still attached. Hopefully it's not going to jump out and kill us here. But let's go and get this nut off. We'll put this in our bolt cup there, and that's it. And so I have the brake tools somewhere. I'm not too worried about it. These are probably not super hard. What I will use is a pair of needle nose pliers. I'm gonna go grab those. So let me show you. Needle nose pliers work just as well as that brake tool. The brake tool, once you look at it, you'll see how it works or whatnot. But I'm just gonna use these needle nose pliers, grab it, and there happens to be a point up here where I can just grab it and pry down, use it as an anchor point. So I'm gonna grab this, and I already took it off once actually, so boom. See how easy that was to come off? And so now I'll take a video of this. Generally I take a picture because I just want to make sure that all my springs are put in the correct place and in the correct direction. But this is a universal spring, so it doesn't matter. You can see the top looks exactly like the bottom, so I'm not too worried if I put it in backwards or forward, as it were. Sometimes when I put it down, I'll place it up and down, and I'll designate, at least mentally, which side is up and which side is down. So that's it. Another thing is I'll make sure that I make a note of how these pads go in. As you can see, I'm not taking everything apart. I just took that one spring off and I pulled this out, and this thing is pretty bad. So once you get this off, there is a way to just take these cups off. You can see this thing's all sorts of what's it called? Let me see if I can put this thing down here. Yeah. Okay, so these cups will come right off, and there's fluid in there, which is great. That means that the seals are not leaking. The seals are not leaking, so that's fantastic. It's kind of hard to tell if this is water or brake fluid, but either way, it's stuck in there, which again tells me that it's not leaking. So I'm excited about it being sealed, if you will. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a clean so I can minimize the amount of rust and dirt, debris that goes into the brake cylinder here. The outside doesn't matter, it's not pretty. So you should probably just replace it. But again, you just saw that it's not leaking. There's no reason to fix it if it's not broken. So now we can pull these things out, and there's brake fluid. Yep, and it's brake fluid. You can see how pretty that brake fluid is too. I did end up replace the brake fluid a while ago. So this has a little bit of rust on it. There's going to be water that builds up, so you can see in what direction all the cups are. You can actually buy these cups. There's an overhaul kit. It's like $6 for this type of application. And then this one here is a little stuck, and the fluid actually has a scent to it as well. It smells kind of bad, but let's see if I can just break this free here. There we go. That one was stuck, which is clearly not good. It shouldn't be stuck. That's probably one of the reasons why we're not able to bleed the system, because that thing was frozen in place. So the next thing that you do, see, I'm pushing it in the opposite direction, but this cup is right there, and so this cup already came off pretty easily, and this side was loose, but boom, there we go. So it's all out. There's nothing in this cylinder. It's just a little cylinder, a wall, and these springs are still good. All this does is pushes outward pressure, and clearly it's not leaking. All this stuff will be cleaned out with carburetor cleaner or something to that effect. It's hard to tell. I feel like you can feel the difference between brake fluid and water, and it does feel like there's some water stuck in here, which is natural to happen because of all the humidity in the air. And as this thing opens and closes, it's going to suck air in there as well as humidity times however many years. I've had this thing about 3 years now. But these rubber boots are like new. They work great. The only issue that I'm having is I have no way to bleed it. So that bolt right there is really what I'm after. I took everything apart because I might end up having to heat this thing up, which I might do preemptively. And then I have some of those little drill looking things you put in there and turn it counterclockwise, and it gets stuck and pulls it out. But I'm going to go ahead and heat it just for fun with that brake fluid. It should break it out pretty easy, and then all this stuff will be cleaned out as well. This doesn't really matter, and they make a device, different ways to hone out the center of this, and so this doesn't look pitted. I'm not to worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean it off really good, get all the rust off, and these boots look like they're in great shape. They're not torn, they're not cracked, they're not stretched. There's nothing wrong with them. And so these boots will actually sit in this manner like this once you get them in there with the spring in between both of them, so that as they the brake pads will come in a little bit. As you apply pressure, it actually goes out on it. So just for more efficiency. But let's go ahead and put this in our parts bin here, and I'm going to stop the video because I'm going to go get the torch and heat this up pretty good so I can get that loose. And maybe I'll put some transmission fluid, although brake fluid is supposed to be a great cutting agent, if you will. A lot of people like to waste money on PB Blaster, WD-40. I happen to have gallons of transmission fluid, which is way better than PB Blaster, WD-40 and whatnot. My dad worked for the dealership, and they did not allow them at that time, back in the 90s, to use WD-40, and they said it causes more rust than it's worth. It's water dissipating, sample number 40 that they discovered to work. So if you want to use something like PB Blaster, I suggest you actually get some transmission fluid, new or old. You can get a quart of transmission fluid for like $7. A can of PB Blaster is like, what, $4, $5, $6, $7, $13? I don't know, it just depends on where you go. And then you buy a gallon of lacquer thinner or paint thinner, and you mix it 1-to-1, and that works better than PB Blaster and WD-40. And they make these cool pressurizable cans that will spray. I have a few of them, but I think one actually got stolen recently. I used to have it right there, and it's clearly not there anymore. So that sucks. The container itself is probably like $60, and it's totally worth it if you do the math. Out of one spray can, you get like, I don't know, 4 or 5 cans of PB Blaster. That's going to cut a lot better, loosen stuff a lot better, and just work all around a lot better. But anyways, let's go get the tools for this and continue with that. Thanks for watching.